and welcome to another episode of the KopiBros Show presented by Chit Podcast Network. Now, today we had the very fun opportunity of talking to Mark Tan, who's the founder of 1Collectibles, who is a collectible store. Interesting experience, talking to him, learning about the card scene, collectible scene, learning about how he runs his business, how, besides a card store, they do distribution, they do events as well. Without further ado, before we get into our episode, a word from our sponsor. This week's episode of the Chit Chatter is brought to you by our friends at CityMusic, your one-stop shop for all things music and podcast related right here in Singapore. Whether you're picking out your first instrument, upgrading your setup, or starting a podcast, CityMusic has you covered. From guitars, keyboards and amps, microphones and full podcast setups, cameras, lighting and streaming gear, everything you need to create, record and perform at the highest level is all in one place. They also carry a wide range of microphones for every budget. Some of us at the Chit Chatter even use the Zoom ZDM1, a solid podcast mic that delivers great quality at nearly half the price of many popular options. If you're looking to start your own music or podcast journey, be sure to check out CityMusic's website or head down to their store today. A big thanks to our friends at CityMusic for supporting the Chit Chatter. And now, back to our episode. Now, our guest today is the founder of 1Collectibles, a Singapore-based trading card and memorabilia shop that began in the attic of a passionate collector and has since grown into a full retail store, office and studio dedicated to guiding hobbies on their collecting journey. Please join me in welcoming Mark Tan. Hello, Mark.
Hi, how are you doing?
If you understand Chinese, right, recently this word keep coming out. It's called 初衷. What was your 初衷 in doing this? Your initial passion for doing this?
I think I have been doing this for as long as I can remember. Right? I don't think I have a career out of what collectibles is. I'm 35 this year. That means I spend more than half my life in collectibles or off that thought, right? So I don't really know a life outside it. I mean, I have a life outside it. It's not but career path, it's always been the same thing.
We rescheduled this interview because you said your flight was delayed. So where did you just came back from?
No, I just came from Bangkok because one of our, 1Collectibles is actually just only 30% of what my business my organization really does. Okay. So we also actually host events as well, collectible events and gaming events. This is part of our portfolio as well. Yeah. So I just came back from an event, right? I was playing in it as well, but at the same time, I was just catching up with some of the old people. It's tickling my curiosity part of it, right? Because I kind of want to learn more about the clientele.
I see.
I want to see what people like
up to lah.
Feel at home with. Why did they travel for event?
Okay, so when you say you play at certain events, right? Are you saying you play card games, and what card games do you play?
I mean, I'm a card game geek as well. So I play Magic, I play Flesh and Blood, I play Locana recently. Yeah, I mean, I've been playing this since I was a kid, so I never really stopped.
It's so rare to find someone to say that, wow, I played this as a kid, right? And I grew up. I grew up and am grown up, right? And I'm still able to do this as a full-time job. This is every kid's dream.
Well, the playing is still a hobby. It's not a full-time job. I wish I was a professional player and stuff, but I'm not that good at the game. It's something that I never really left from me, childlike in the sense of wanting to just, play a game with friends and stuff. But at the same time, I think a lot of people that I know, at least in my circle, right, they have been playing the game for a while as well. So, and a lot of people just joining the game now. I think it's fine. It's a nice hobby to have, right? You travel to play games, you go and explore the place.
Before we interviewed Singapore's ranked #1 Pokemon TCG player of 2024. And then he has a very different experience from yours, as in he left the collecting for a while. Honeymoon during COVID, right? Because they went on honeymoon, then he walked past a card store and his wife say he and his wife say very long never open pack, shall we open? Then open never look back already. Then he started this whole collecting and playing game all over again.
I mean, that's the space that we kind of play with as well, right? Because when you go and open a pack, it's not what a pack contains, right? It's who you are doing it with, where you are, and a lot of that is tagged with memories. And that's something that us at 1Collectibles, or at least my organization, we work on as well. It's not only just cards, it's all the people around.
If someone today asks you what's your job, how would you describe it?
Wow, that one jialat. It's kind of an unorthodox career, right?
Yeah,
so
correct.
I studied economics, and by right, I should be working in a bank, right? My poly cert was in biomedical science. So by right, I'm supposed to be doing something in that, helping life sciences and things like that. On paper, I'm running a company, right? I'm running a company right now. We have 22 staff under us. So that's what I generally do. A lot of them are people management, it's vendor management, people management, business development, today I just have back-to-back meetings from like 10 a.m. all the way to you, right? You're my last meeting for the day before.
Wow, okay, thanks.
So it's a lot of interaction with different departments that we have, and that's what I am on paper, lah, right? The older generation, I'll say like my parents, that age group. That's why I don't really like Chinese New Year, right? Because
okay.
Pokemon, well, you must be rich. I'm like, Pokemon. Firstly, Pokemon was just a small part of my business, or what I do in general. But second is I also was like, we're not just selling Pokemon cards, right? We have other things that we do. So Pokemon, yes, it's great as a collectible, it's great as a story and as a narrative, but it's only part of what we do at 1Collectibles. There's a lot more to it, and people who come to our store, they'll understand that. At least our stores, right? They're built with intention as well. Like if you've been to our store, it's actually blacked out, right? And there's like a little cutout, and our light is orange light, so it looks like it's going to in like a earth kind of thing. So you're going to a community space. So a lot of these things are intentional as well, and that's how we build that brand, lah. That's what we try to do, lah. It's not a resale point, nothing like that. It's like you're going into somewhere with people like-minded like you, lah.
I got to know about you from your YouTube. I don't know, was it a shorts that led to a video or whatnot? And then it started from the Steve Aoki video. Then I started watching more. Then I'm like, actually, you all open a lot of things. You all open with, I think, Danielle Tan, the female football player. Yeah.
So actually, the Singapore football one is kind of an interesting point because that's actually a company under my organization as well. So not only that we are 1Collectibles, right? We also produce cards for the national team, right? And that's something that we do. Whatever you see 1Collectibles is just like tip of the iceberg, right? It's the most visible, the most known ones, but we also do like a lot of success. Like one of them is called Asia, which is the soccer cards one. Actually, to be honest, right now, a lot of my energy is actually put into that. Right, a lot of my technology development energy is put into that because we are currently the culture partner of the FAS, right? Singapore Football.
I see.
What actually we're trying to do is that we are trying to create that third space, that kind of like why people go to games. Why should we support our local football, right? And we also believe that Singapore football deserves a lot more attention that it's getting right now. It's getting a lot of the bad flags and things like that. But if you know the people internally in the FAS, or you know what they're standing for, firstly, we're all Singaporeans. We believe there's a culture to be built there. So that's where Playback Asia was also born. It's born based on what our expertise media is, which is collectibles. But at the same time, collectibles are just pieces of paper unless you kind of imbue stories into it.
Correct.
You narratives, you feel moments. And that's what we try to do with Playback Asia. It's going really fun, really, really fun. I love my job, to be honest with you.
I would love to buy a Haris Harun card from you because that was the first player I liked when Singapore was winning the ASEAN Cup in 2007, 2009. That era, lah. I remember we dominated the ASEAN Cup for a while during that era.
And right now it's like a great moment to be a Singapore fan, right?
Yes, of course.
Asia Cup. Based on one of the work that I'm doing is that we're really heavily involved in like the 31st of March, the game that's happening in Bangladesh National Stadium. I mean, we didn't expect this to happen when we started 2 years ago.
Yes.
Right? We started with like doing Fandi Ahmad and like learning the history about Singapore football. We want to get the fans reliving the nostalgia and things like that. And then this thing happened. I was like, thank you for bringing it out of us. Like, it made it easier for us to like get the attention, to get the third space to becoming Singaporean again. My
next question will be about origin story. Okay, so can I invite you to talk about like how did you started collecting at 8 and then how do you slowly grow into like, it's not even just a card business at the moment, it's like something even more.
I never actually thought I was doing like a card business. Like I was never, whenever I did all these things, I never thought I was like, I'm selling cards, I'm selling Pokemon, I'm selling Magic, I'm selling things. I always felt like I was building spaces for the unintended. I mean, right now it looks like, this is normal, there's spaces for people to open cards and stuff. But back in the day, there was very little spaces like this. When I started it, it's more with intention as well, right? It's like, we want people who like the same thing to be in the same space. That was all I was trying to do, right? Yes, the median was cards, but how did we get people there to then, have new connections, be more curious about other things? It's what I was working on. And I started my first business then, and then I worked in Germany. After I left my first business, I worked in Germany for 4 years. I worked for a distributor that does, all these games as well. And I'll do business development for them as well. I kind of put 2 plus 2 together about, like, it's within like this learning journey. I kind of feel like what people are actually looking for, right? And this is not something that I was looking for too, right? So when I was in Germany, I had no friends, or my colleagues, right? But I didn't really have much friends. And I was thinking to myself, like, where would I want to be, right? So I found Eintracht Frankfurt. I lived in Frankfurt. So I found the club. So I went to game day. I made a few Turkish friends. Then I was like, oh shit, I feel at home even though I'm like miles away from home. and that was the kind of feeling that I kind of want to have. when I help my guys, look at stores as well, I tend to talk to people and like, why do they come in so often? Why do they eat this place, right? It's like kind of like I say a reprieve from the normal life, right? So you think of it like American culture, say go to a bar, the kind of thing. When I started my first business till now, and when I was growing up, I was just connecting the dots about what people wanted, what kind of emotions people want. Origin story is young, learn about cards, realize why people actually like collecting cards, and then move on, TLDR, and then move on and just start learning something new every single year. Whatever I'm doing now, I'm still learning every single day.
Your story is a bit different for a lot of people because a lot of people start a business with a good product or a good service. They always, the problem statements always come a bit more down the road when they need to grow or whatnot. But I realize you're asking the kind of questions that already from the start is the kind of questions that a lot of entrepreneurs will come back and tell you that you should ask this question at the start because this will help you grow your business better lah. Or at least
I guess I was lucky, I guess.
Okay,
I guess I was lucky to have that mindset, right? I was lucky to have the mindset because I was just like, what do I want, right? What do I want to feel? What do I want to see? And it just got me there, right? It just slowly, and I was very, very lucky to have I wouldn't say supportive parents in this space, but like I would say I'm very lucky to have ability to do the things I want to do because my parents are, just do whatever you want. I mean, they gave up. I was a rebel, right? And I started very young as well, so I was able to make mistakes that people that say early 30s they can't make. Like right now, if you ask me to start a business again, I'm like, bro, it's scary. But when you're young and you're 20ish, you're like, never mind lah. The rent 5K, never mind lah. Till then, just close down, start again lah. You have no loans, no credit card debt, no lifestyle that you should pay. I was very lucky to start very early. That was one of the things that I really appreciated lah, right?
My very limited understanding of 1Collectibles from our YouTube, from our social media is that I feel that in terms of scale and in terms of how the shop looks is very different from other card shops. How do you purposely create 1Collectible so that it has a certain feel, or like how do you think it stands out from other card shops?
At least for me lah, when I had my first generation of people that we hired, and some of them are still with me now, right?
Okay.
We never really wanted 1Collectibles to feel like any other store or any other resale point. We never ever wanted to feel that way. We wanted to approach this as like a brand and like ecosystem. That means a lot of things that we do, especially when we start at the start all the way to now. They're very intentional, right? Because we are now building a brand. We're not selling cards. We're selling a space for people to come and be curious. That meant also that we took presentation seriously. We took credibility seriously. We took partnership seriously. Also, like customer service, right? Is something that my retail staff would very, very pleased on because it's about the brand. How we hire retail staff is that we want that to be very authentic as people. We don't want to hi, welcome, that kind of like Uniqlo. No shit. I love not that kind of mechanical thing. We want them to be themselves. If you come to our store, you'll see a plethora of different characters that's running.
Understand.
It feels like different every time, one day you have Jess running the front store and it'll be like, it's a bit more chaotic, and then one day you have like Pearl, and it's a bit more like, it's about Big Brother energy. And it feels different every time you walk in. And sometimes they build bonds with the staff that, or I like the chaotic energy. So I'm going to try work on come to a days where we know that this particular stuff is working. We have tables and people open packs, right? So one thing that we do is that, and this is something I didn't really teach, and it's like they never retrained, but these guys know it themselves because of the demographic of people that we hire. Unless we're clearing the trash from the table, but if we're interacting with our customers and we are on a high level, we bend down and talk to them so that we're on the same eye contact with them. So it feels more like, I'm not nodding over you about all these collections, that like that. It's more like, we are on the same level here. A lot of intentions put into how we deal with customers. The special thing about all this stuff is completely organic, right? It's because the people in the organization that we have, they're great people. I cannot ask for everything.
It sort of leads to my next question, which is, I think a lot of card vendors that I see, right, they always have this issue of like, because you have people that buy to sort of like as an investment, they want to see the card grow. And then there are those that really buy because, I just love this character, I love this person, or I love this Pokemon that I want to collect. So how do you ensure that, even if today one big investor come in, they want to buy big cards and a kid, they just want to I just want to collect what I like. How do you ensure that, these people go into your store, they can find what they want, and then it's still a memorable experience for them lah.
I mean, we do it by not really entertaining the investment narrative. Like if you look at our social media and anything like that, right? We never talk about that investment narrative. We never believe about, you buy it today and then you wait 5 years, it's like the ETF, we go up 5% per year, blah, blah, blah. We always thought that collectibles are collectibles first, right? Yes, let's say you pay a high price for something that you really like because it will go up in the future, but buy it because you actually like it lah. So even if the price goes half, you'll be like, it doesn't matter, it's still my collection. We don't like drive them away or anything like that. We'll just like usually ask them like, would you keep it if it's $200 instead of $5,000?
Oh,
if the answer is yes, then go ahead and just buy it, right? But then do it, because it's we perceive it as art, like something very similar to art pieces, right? I'm a little bit of an art geek, but like you think about very long ago, right? Michelangelo painted the Sistine Chapel so big because it got a lot of space, man. Last time space was so expensive, a lot of space. And then when you go a little bit more to like the Renaissance period, things started to be smaller, it becomes a portrait.
Yes, correct.
Painting. And then you come to this space right now, right? Where, space now is a commodity. Collecting art doesn't make sense anymore because it's so expensive. So the next best thing for us that's like us flats, like, the people that can't really afford that kind of like Monets and stuff, is that we go to cards, right? Because it's a narrative, it's a painting, it's a piece of art, it's something that you enjoy as part of your legacy. So, and that's where I feel a lot for now being attracted to this, because it's basically democratized art. You can buy a piece that you like for $2 or like $3 or that's your Pokemon end, right? And then if you talk about your sports end, right? You can buy a favorite players for like $5. If you have a bit more money, you can spend $50,000, no problem, right? But
understand.
It's just part of you, lah.
Unless your favorite player is Shohei Ohtani, lah.
Yeah, even let's say Shohei, right? The cheapest Shohei cards like $5, right?
Oh, got such a cheap Shohei card.
Yeah, it's like $5-$10 cards, right? It's not that expensive.
Okay.
And then you can have your $1 million cards, right? There's of course those are grills and those are people really want, but that they don't have to prove who you are. It's you are who you are, and you have a Shohei, right? It's not the Shohei because you are the owner of the Shohei. It shouldn't be. You should own the card, not the card owns you, right? Not the other way around.
Oh, okay. I like that. Yeah.
That's why we just, don't entertain the investment narrative at all. I hope people appreciate us for doing that, instead of going at the investment narrative.
It's getting so serious that the government is, I think they just announced, right, that they're regulating some of the trading cards.
Yeah. I mean, for us at the same time, we see people treat this as collectibles, as things that are, a history imbued in it. And we see people who treat like junk cards as like used lottery tickets. It's just like, oh, I missed that hit. Here's these are trash, I put in the bin, or I give it to kids, and those $1, $2 card are in house there. We've seen both sides, but I think it's okay, right? Sometimes, like in a store, we are just a logistical solver for some people. So, I have a lot of this junk, just buy it for me. And then we'll resell it to somebody who would appreciate these things. We don't talk about the value much, right? Or even at all. We always talk about what the set needs and what it means to us as we would say.
You've been in business since 23 years old, and then you did something similar in terms of distribution and games and whatnot. So what would you say is one of the biggest challenges or one of the biggest things that you have to learn to grow 1Collectibles to be where it is now? Okay,
I never had a business management degree. Zero.
Okay.
Right? A lot of my growth and learning and my team as well, and that's why I encourage my team to do it as well, is through mistakes. It's just make a mistake. The best teacher, just don't do it again. The only one where I stopped there is like, that it's going to be like, the whole company is going to fall kind of thing, right? But other than that, it's like, I feel that's how me and my team learn, right? And you talk about the non-glam stuff, the things that I don't even know how to do it, right? Like, I'm just learning day by day. Like, I don't think I'll ever learn at the moment, how am I supposed to distribute, let's say 40 cases or something to 15 different stores? 4 years ago, I'm like, I don't know. But right now we know how to do it. Like my team knows how to do it. And we know how to. So a lot of things is like, we just take the challenge and then we'll work on it until we have a proper solution, and then we use that. And it becomes part of our process.
Now, one of my observations is that the collectible community really exploded during COVID, because my own understanding is that people have too much spare cash and won't spend it on traveling lah. So would you say that COVID was a big push towards the growth of the local collectible community?
I guess so, but that's because I think during the COVID period, there was a lot of people that had one because they can't travel, can't go to holidays, and then they wanted to have some kind of entertainment, right? So I think what happened was that there's this outbreak of what breaking is, opening packs online.
Yeah.
I think that got a lot of people interested because they stuck at home, nothing to do. And then suddenly there's this community, there's online watching people open packs, and you can talk to each other and stuff online. And that really like helped that community quite a bit. I mean, I was really collecting then. And to be honest, I was a breaker too, right? I was breaking cards, sports cards. I was really breaking sports cards for a bunch of people. All I did was like the stock arrived at my house. I go and open up and I break it for people. Then I pack it and I shift it out. I was already doing that during COVID. And that really accelerated it, because then we have people like, from what I know, my friends was like, hey, what the hell are you doing on this thing? And they just get curious and nothing to do, and they just watch and say, hey, I like Dogman, maybe I should try buying Dogman and see what kind of cards come out with it. So it really accelerated that growth because people will just have no other ways to spend their money or spend their time. It's a very interesting community as well because you have people all over the place.
How has the community grown since this COVID era, this past 5-6 years? How has the community grown or changed?
I think it's a lot more mainstream now, right? It's a lot more mainstream than last time. Last time it's there's only like 5. Like in Singapore, there's been 24 card stores and now there's 151 plus card stores. There's a lot more card stores that appear. Some in the industrial estate, some in void decks. If you talk about the personality wise of people who collect cards, right now it's just a wider range. I think but more people are more mature now, right? I think back after COVID, you have a lot of people coming for investment portion. Right? Or doing coming for investment. On buy now, maybe cannot my car. So we have a lot of people that came down, that when the price came down, they came and sell and said, I don't want to pay this anymore. And they left and then they came back again and said, hey, actually, to be honest, quite fun. Maybe I just want to collect my favorite pieces. But I think right now the community is a lot more mature in that sense. I mean, but this is my lens from what we see our organization is more mature and less about the investing and more about that storytelling, that narrative and that legacy that a card makes to you.
Do you see more like your customers bring their children along? Because that's what I'm starting seeing. Like I see parents bring their children along because they have grown up together with the hobby.
Definitely, but I feel that also we've been looking at sports, right? Sports is American lifestyle culture. They know trading cards since they were young. And there's always sports card store in any state of America. It's part of the American hobby. And in Singapore, it's starting to be that. Like we are the first real card store in Singapore, like sports card store. Right now there's a few, but last time we were the only one. We had a lot of expats coming in. There's Singaporeans coming in. Hey, this hobby actually not that bad. But if you look at a Pokemon wise, it's a very interesting case study. The people that grew up with Pokemon is my age, 35. Right? I'm 35 this year. Right? So that age group, and they grew up with the red, blue, yellow. And then we grew up with it, and then we kind of lose track in that Diamond Pearl era, the XY era. We lose track about it because we were busy.
Exactly. Yes.
Young 20s, we go and explore the world and stuff.
Yeah.
And then after that, nostalgia hits at the 50th anniversary, right? So if this ever happened, oh shit, like I remember this Pokemon thing, right? I enjoyed it as a kid, and then nostalgia hits you as an emotion. And then you bring your kid along, and now it's 5 years after that. Right? So now you see a lot, now 5 years after the 25th anniversary, you see a lot more parents and child, the kid maybe 5-year-old, then now they're 10, they start having their own collection already. So it went one whole cycle, right? And I think this cycle is very healthy because whatever the kid grew up with now, right now it's like Sword and Shield, whatever. In 10, 20 years time when they have kids again, the same cycle will happen, right? They was like, oh, I'm going to bring my kid. I remember this I don't even know the Sword and Shield Pokemon. Ask what? Fuecoco or something. They bring out that memory again, and they're still get passed on. So there will be a dip. There will be like probably a small dip here again. That it will keep going on and on.
I have totally the same experience as you because I'm also 35 this year, and one of my most fond childhood memories was the day my dad came back with Pokemon Yellow because I've been begging for like this Pokemon Yellow for the longest time, and then finally he came back with it and couldn't put it down. He's just like, I want a Pikachu. I want to like just go battle and this kind of thing and capture Pokemon
exactly, right? Game Boy. That's what I grew up with as well.
Yeah.
I don't have kids, right? But I would say my friends have kids age 10. They bring them in and it becomes a family affair, right? Because their wife probably also plays Pokemon. It was such a phenomenon. Schools banned it, right? Parents were burning it.
Yes, I remember that. I remember the days go school cannot bring Pokemon card one. Cannot bring Yu-Gi-Oh cards also. Oh my god, yeah.
So and now now we have adult money, right? So we decide to buy it nostalgia again.
How do you see like 1Collectibles fitting into the local scene in terms of offering or in terms of like creating spaces for people?
First of all, we are the distributor for tops, right? So we are the ones that distribute tops into multiple stores within Singapore. And that's one of the scenes that we fit in now, right? If we talk about like the supply chain level, we are the distributor. We want to make sure that our stores are taken care of. They have enough stock to sell. They know how to sell the product. They know how to sell the brand. We try to shape like product access and market growth. And at the same time, we want to make sure that they have intentions as well, right? The good intentions so that they can survive the long run. In 1Collectibles kind of thing, we are building it as a proof of concept, right? Like, okay, look, there's a store. This is what we do. This is how we sell it. Create a store similar to this. You also buy. So it's more like a proof of concept, and we'll keep building more stores. Right now we have 2, right? One in Queensway, one in Bali. We are not a store. We are a community space. Honestly speaking, you're quite insulated, like because we're not really into that card shows and we do those kind of things. We're quite insulated as we see what we know, and we know what we are doing is correct because we have more and more people coming in.
Came in thinking that you were a card store, I'm sorry, but now I'm having a total change of how you view your business and how you run your business, because a lot of times card store is about building community and whatnot, but now that you explain it like that you're not just card store as a distributor and you see it's a proof of concept, I'm like, oh, okay, now it's starting to make sense how One Collectible grew and what you're trying to do, this kind of thing. Yeah.
We are trying to build the third space, right? Like I said, a lot of my businesses or a lot of the business that I lead or I develop, right? It's not about the product, right? It's about the area, like why people come to the area. So if you talk about Playback Asia, then talking about like Singapore football, match days, things like that. Then we talk about 1Collectibles, it's like, cards, collectibles, memorabilia. We also did card collectibles Asia last year as well. That's again a celebration of what the card community has done in the last year. So it's always that third space. How we also build a business, we think not as a card store, but we think more of how that space, that community, that people that we have, how do we activate it so that people can, after a long day of work, they go down, they kind of chill, they make new friends, they make connections.
I'm very, very curious and very, very 羡慕. How do you manage to get Steve Aoki to visit your store?
To be honest, because we know him as a collector, right?
Oh, okay.
A collector first, right? And we kind of help, we kind of talk to him once in a while. He was in Singapore. We just sent him a message hey, we want to open some packs together, kind of thing. We are the distributor for Tops. He likes Tops products, right? And he knows our product listing. And we're the only card store, sports card store in Singapore, because that's what he was looking for. And I was like, sure, go, come on, let's do it, right? So he came twice, right? The first time he actually invited us to the green room. That means we had backstage, we didn't even know. It was 5 p.m. It's hey, bring me these boxes. Right, I want to buy these boxes. Here are 6 backstage passes. Let's party and then let's open packs behind. I'm like, oh sure, let's go, right? And then I remember one of our colleagues, she ran off to buy a dress, and then she ran off to buy a dress. It was at 5 p.m. The party was at 8, right? Then he said it was at 8. I closed the store with a party with him. It was a backstage thing, and then after that we opened packs with him. And then after we also realized, right, that Steve Aoki is just human as well. He just wants to be around collectors, but he's not Steve Aoki the DJ, Steve Aoki the collector, right? And then that becomes a very humbling moment. I was like, oh, we're actually almost the same type of people.
Same, yeah.
Curious. Yeah, we're all curious about this collection, this thing and that thing, and we bonded over the kind of book, right? I mean, of course, there's agents and stuff that need to handle these interactions. And then the second year was hey, you're back in Singapore, hey, come down to Paya Lebar, And then he came down. Then okay, great. He came down. Just say we go you. It's basically because he understood at the same time. He's a kid at heart. It's like us. We're all kid at heart, right? That built something because that get a lot of traction to us. So it's okay, this is a great opportunity to sell the business the 1Collectibles way, right? The intention behind things, the narrative behind things, and we use that as a platform to build that social media, build that business vibe.
I can move on to my last segment, which is on the collectors in general. And I think my first and foremost question I need to ask you is, with so many things now to collect, I mean, just cards alone, you mentioned, got Magic, got Pokemon, got sports already, got basketball, football, tennis also have. How should a collector, first time collector or collectors that are 7, 8 years old, how do you think they should approach this collectible scene?
I think starting at 7, 8 is also great, because usually when you're at that young age, right, you're a bit more curious. Regardless of whichever age you are, right, I think the best way to approach collectibles, start with curiosity, right, not pressure. Be curious about things. Usually ask them, don't ask what is going to be expensive, what will go up. Start by asking what speaks to you. What sports player do you like? What sports team do you love? What Pokemon do you like? You'll start to notice after a while, people have random Pokemons that they like. Super random. I have one of my colleagues, his favorite Pokemon was Flygon. Yeah, not everyone's favorite Pokemon was Pikachu, Eevee. Yeah. And start with that, because it's Pikachu, Eevee is all the fun thing. Everyone has that little weird quote Pokemon. Yeah. They like I like Absol, right? For some goddamn reason. I like that Pokemon, right? I like Psyduck. I know it's a bit more mainstream, but I like Psyduck as well. So start with those things, right? And when you build that as a collector, it's being curious, asking yourself what you actually like. Which your favorite Pokemon which calls out to you, and then you just buy pieces of those Pokemon. They are not expensive if you enjoy Flygon for some reason, right? The full master set of all the Flygons is probably less than $50 or $60, but it means a lot more to you, right? Because there isn't a Flygon SAR, right? Or maybe there is not.
True.
But cost you $50 or $60, you put in a binder, get all them PSA 10 cost you $1,000, right? Or $500. That's your scoring when someone comes into you. Oh, this is my favorite Pokemon. Why fly God? There you go, interaction point, right? You can talk to people about it.
Yep.
Right? So that's where I say like, if someone new to collecting, that's how they should approach it.
This actually reminds me of why I started following a lot of Pokemon US Pokemon YouTubers lah. One of them, like the Deep Pocket Monster, that guy, of course, the guy different lah. He's an entrepreneur, he got money, he can do the 1025 Pokemon series, then like 1 month put one video kind, but still a lot of people watch. His videographer, the Ian with Ian, recently he has a video called Collecting Jolteon in Every Language. Well, that one is actually very interesting also leh.
Yeah.
You see how trying to hunt down all the different languages card. It's very difficult, but yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah.
So I mean that's where it really comes from, right? Because that's what collecting really is. Yeah. I think I have more fun collecting things I like. So I like art, right? So I always like hunt pieces of Pokemon cards that look like art. I mean, the very common one is Scream, right? Because and the Van Goghs, right? So that's my collection. My collection is DSA 10s of those things. That's a bit more mainstream, really. So I didn't really have a lot of fun. It was easy to find. I just paid money, I get really. But like, for example, I was trying to finish some weird collections like I'm trying to finish the Absol Master Set. And I have a lot more fun finding that because it's like, okay, firstly, it's not that expensive. And second, it's actually much harder to find. Right? You have to you have to go to like binders. I mean, and the rule is that I don't use eBay lah. eBay cheating. I go to trade shows, I just look for that piece, like that Absol that I'm seeing. Yeah. And it becomes a lot more fun and a lot more interactive doing that than trying that. My first collection, which is that you're talking about art pieces, right? Then Dark Trio from the first edition, Dark Trio, it's actually a Van Gogh painting. I find it more fun than like, I want to complete a complete set of months. Yeah, you can. You pay 10K, get already, or pay 30K, get already. But all those are very small, little collection that means something to you, right? Then understand where the fun quality comes from.
What was your number one sports that you collected cards for?
I'm a big fan of Everton. I know it's very weird, but I'm a big fan of Everton Football Club. So I have a few Master Set collections that I'm still trying to complete as of today. Wow. Right. Okay. So 2018 Prism, Bunny Prism. This year EPL Chrome released the Everton EPL Chrome has English Premier League Chrome has Everton in it. So I'm trying to complete the complete set of all the variations and all the number cards and things like that. Okay. It's a very long journey and I probably can't get all of them because one-of-ones, you know what one-of-ones are, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, so one-of-ones means that there's only one piece in the world. Correct. It will never appear. It's in boxes somewhere or somewhere in Nigeria. I don't know where it is. So I can't complete the full set. So I'm completing everything up to numbered hand, right? So there is numbered to 199, 99, 92, 75. So I'm going around hunting. Like the cards are not expensive, like that. $20-30.
At least it's not you collecting for Liverpool, because I'm a Liverpool fan.
Yeah, exactly.
So exactly. So I tell you, all these Tottenham fans rubbing Richarlison's last minute equalizer in my face the past few days are very, very painful.
That's the thing. I'm very lucky because I'm an Everton fan, right? So my cards are cheap. But let's say if you're a Liverpool fan, oh my god, it's super expensive, right? But there's also other things you can collect. Like you don't have to collect all the Liverpool. You don't have to be like to collect the number 10. You can just collect the one variation, the number 299. Collect the autographs of your favorite player. I'm an Everton fan. I'm supposed to be a rival, but honestly speaking, I love the city of Liverpool and what they stand for. I love Sarbos live, right, as a player. I love watching him.
I love him. Yeah.
Enjoy watching Salah a lot in the last. Even though he does the same thing over and over again, he does it so well. But I enjoy watching him play. I have some Salah cards in my collection too, right? It's just because I remember this time where this shot where he made. So it's quite collection.
Okay, then my last question before we go into quickfire is that would you advise people to collect slabs
or singles? Yeah. Personally, slabs lah. Personally, for me, right?
Okay.
I like collecting slabs because storage purposes lah. I mean, if I can show you my living room right now. So
later, once we end, you can pan around. Then we can.
It's cards. It's like raw cards everywhere. But it's not even like expensive cards, it's just like random raw cards everywhere. And then I have like this nice little stack of slabs that I put there that I can use or like go inside boxes. So generally I like slabs more because they're more intentional, right? They're a lot more intentional in the sense that, there is a cert to it, there's a population report, it's legitimate lah. Raw cards, I still like it for collecting, like, again, like me, the master set kind of thing, right? But in terms of like, if you want to collect, put it aside. More the logistical issue that you might have in the long run.
Are you of the PSA side or the more on the Becker and CGC side?
I mean, after talking to me for at least I don't know how long now, 45 minutes, you realize that I'm a little bit of a purist, right? So, yes, for me.
Okay.
It's PSA for me. I mean, I was sold on Beckett, from one of my colleagues as well. I do collect Beckett for Wise, like Wise Schwartz, that anime stuff. So I collect my favorite animes as well, favorite characters. That's for Beckett. But if you ask me, like, what do I have most of? It's PSA. That's because I'm, again, a purist, traditionalist, I would want to say.
So I think we can end the interview with a round of quick fire question. The first question I ask you is, what is your favorite card?
It will probably annoy you as well. It's actually a Richarlison 1-of-1.
Wow, piang, okay.
It was really funny because there's this, and I think I said this story in at least 4 or 5 interviews. There was this set called Chronicles, Panini Chronicles, which was 2021. Richarlison only came in number 27 and number 1. I mean, Richarlison, as an Everton fan, he's a troll and
correct.
Yes. You will appreciate that. I was like, I really want to find that one of, and I couldn't find it for at least 2 years, right? Because it released and check on eBay, as well, eBay, like trade shows, card shows, I tried to put it up. And then when I gave up all hope on it, right? I think this was 2024 Macau trade show. It's a Macau sports convention. This guy, which was one of our customers in our store, said, "Hey, mama, you like Richarlison, right?" Because somebody showed me, it brought me over. And there it was. After 2 years, someone has it. That was one. And I didn't even bargain. I just bought the sticker tag, which was like $700 US or something. It was after 2 years, I gave up. Right? I completely gave up because I knew that Cornerstone was one of my favorite designs as well. And that was very precious to me, like sitting in my collection, and always a story behind it. I always remember he did me out. Right? So he's a good friend of ours. He also like randomly like find Everton cards and just like sell me, or just like, hey, you want to buy? So we make friends that way. There are different collectors as well. So, like, Everton, they just look for Marks looking for these kind of things. And we will point each other to the right direction of who to sell.
Although I'm a Liverpool fan, I can understand that the modern day Everton fans, why they love Richarlison so much. Because he practically kept them in the league for 1 year. I forget which year it is.
Yes, I think as Everton fan, again, I'm probably rambling. It's, I think what we want to see is hard work as well. We don't care if you're shit at football.
Correct.
As long as you're running after the second ball and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We appreciate you for who you are.
Okay, the next question, most expensive card you have?
Well, I don't know. I really don't know. Something Rooney, I guess. Like, I'm an Everton fan. Rooney is Everton boy.
Oh, yeah.
I did collect some of the Rooney stuff. I think the most I paid for Rooney, it's not high. It's not like the 80, like 5, not 5 digits, 6 digits, but I think the 5K, I think. I bought it for 5K US. It's probably my most expensive card I have. Story behind it. That's why I collect. And my collection might not be expensive, but it means something to me.
Most expensive card you have transacted at 1Collectibles?
Actually, to be honest, we don't sell a lot of expensive stuff. I think 15K.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like a Messi autograph or pets. I don't remember. We transact so much every day. Transact a lot, like $20, $10, $20, $50, all the way to maybe 400. That range is where we transact the phone. Like the really high end one, to be honest, is just display pieces lah. For sports side, they don't usually buy it. Usually you try to trade for it. And then for Pokemon side, you put the price up, you put a decent price up, it's going to be gone. Someone's going to buy it, stay on eBay already.
Actually, you're right in saying that Pokemon, although a lot of transactions, right? But the most expensive card I've seen, like Moonbreon, like PSA 10, this kind is also a few thousands. But sports card, like some of the Tom Brady, the PSA 9, PSA 10, or the Patrick Mahomes, all these are crazy. The amount they transact.
Yeah, but we don't do that kind of transaction. Our transaction is more mid-range. That's what we teach the customers to. If you have like one of these really high, good moving Pokemon cards, it's selling on their own. Teach you how to sell it, right? But if you have those like mid-range, those SAR those raw SAR, SR, nobody want to, it's harder to move high volume. That's up to us lah. We pay a decent rate on those.
Okay, yeah, I call these liquid cards lah. Not too expensive, easier to move around kind of thing. Yeah.
Because we also want to be authentic to our customer. Just say like, look, we can buy at 20% below market, but it's easier for you to sell it on.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, sometimes they will support us and hey, by all means, man, just help me take the work off my load, off my shoulders, and just make that 20% come sell it for you. And then randomly you have a few pieces. You still have some pieces, not that we have.
Okay, one celebrity you would like to open packs with?
To be honest, I would like to open with strangers, like people that I never.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
People I never
met before.
Interact. Yeah, connect with before. Because I mean, if you think about celebrities, right, you can find their information from a wiki page.
Yeah,
right?
True lah.
You can find out everything about it from the wiki page. I mean, yes, Steve Aoki is kind of cool, right? Because it's like he's a DJ and then now he's a collector, and then I get to open to Steve Aoki, the collector. That's kind of cool, right? But we don't know about other celebrities and stuff like that. So I would rather much open packs with a stranger, because I think one of my favorite quotes that reached out me as a young adult, right, was I think Bill Nye said something like, "Everyone you will ever meet knows something you don't." Basically, the ethos of what we do at 1Collectibles as well. So that's why we speak to a lot of people. We learn a lot more from other people, different lifestyle, different careers, and things like that. I say I'd rather open pets with a stranger. But given the opportunity, if I can open with a celebrity, Dave Chappelle,
okay.
Dave Chappelle,
that would be a funny episode.
But just for me to just interact with him, because I just love the way that he tells stories.
Understand.
Anthony Bourdain is one of my inspirations as well.
Oh, okay.
So, but he's a bit dead. So God bless his soul. But that's somebody. If you notice, these are people that I'm very curious about how they got to their thinking of being curious.
One word you think your friends will use to describe you?
I don't know. I thought that in the question I don't know. Because to my friends, I'm a friend, right? To my colleagues, I'm a boss or like a manager, a director. So to different people, I'm different things. So to my friend, I guess funny law. I think okay.
Yes.
I can talk like
Yeah.
I'm a storyteller.
I think we really learned a lot from you, and I really enjoyed talking to you. But before we close off our episode, can you let our viewers and listeners know where they can find you and where they can find 1Collectibles?
Okay, you can find 1Collectibles at the numerical 1, Collectibles, COLLECTIBLES. If you Google 1Collectibles, our socials should be there.
Yeah.
Instagram, I think we're this is the most used platform for us, and our website as well, www.1collectibles.com. That's where most of our commerce is being made. But if you want to know about anything that got to do with the Singapore sports card scene, it's Playback Feature. So PlayBackAsia. Right? If you want to know anything about topics, we'll just come out to 1Collectibles. We'll be able to. Or at least about the collecting culture. My guys are
new card shops. They want to open card shops. Can look for 1Collectibles.
Yeah, exactly.
Also, correct?
Please.
Yeah,
please. I'll give you a referral fee for that. But yeah, if you